68 books in many different genres, and his latest book is a book of poetry, something that he has not tackled yet before, but this is in part of an incredible journey that he's been on since he was diagnosed with MS last year. We were joined by author Jamison Wolfe. He's also an instructor. His brand new book is called Talking to the Sky. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
I wanted to start off talking, Jamison, a little bit about your background, because as I said, 68 books to your credit now. What sort of genres do you write in?
It's a mixed bag, anything and everything. I do, started out, really, I gained a bit of fame with romance novels.
Okay.
And I write children's books, suspense, horror, and I do blogging in terms of about the MS, but yeah, a lot of fiction. It's all over the place. So.
Well, maybe take us back to the beginning, because you did have quite an episode with MS, which led to the book. So how did that come about?
The MS hit last year in January, and I was bedridden for a month, and I couldn't do anything. And when I started to get better, I wasn't able to write very much. I was able to do 20 to 30,000 words in a weekend before, but when I got better, it was like 3 or 4 or 5 at a time. So I started stitching it together into poems. And the book kind of came about actually because of the workshop. I wanted to take myself through the process again, and I put the book together. I designed the cover, I did the typesetting on the inside, so yeah.
And tell us about these workshops. I think you have one coming up June 21st?
Yeah, 21st and 22nd. It's actually the same workshop on 2 different days. It's called the ABCs to getting published. Because what I found when I started publishing books was that they don't give you a lot of information, and the information they give you online is not very complete. And they're lacking certain things. They don't talk about establishing an author brand or cover design. So I, put it together, and it's following 6 lessons: establishing your own publishing company, and then designing your own cover, how to publish an ebook, paperback, and a hardcover, and then how to establish an author brand, and how to promote yourself.
Is self-publishing the way to go for most first-time authors, do you think?
First-time or, experienced authors.
Right.
Because there are experienced authors that write more than 1 novel a year. And,
course, okay.
And they want to put it out. And, sometimes it's not right for the publisher. And I work with 4 other publishers, but I write too much, so,
What's the biggest challenge for an author getting published? Have you found in your experience?
It's finding a publisher that really connects with what you've written. Because you have to invoke a personal reaction with a reader, and if the publisher doesn't see that, they won't publish your book. And then, in terms of promotion, the publisher will publish your novel or your book, but they don't really do the promotion. You have to do that yourself. So that's, if you don't know your way around that, difficult to do.
So, Talking to the Sky, what types of people would pick this book up, or who are you catering to a certain person, or?
The poems themselves, they're very personal, like most poetry is. It's part memoir, part journey, but it's really my first book for anybody. Anybody that's moved by poetry, moved by words on the page. It's for anybody that wants to connect.
Is there a common theme throughout the poems?
Mostly actually it's called Talking to the Sky because the poems are all based around conversations I've had with people, or conversations I wished I had. And so I've actually taken pieces of conversations I've had, and they're in the poems. So they all involve talking in some way, whether it be external or internal. So anybody can get into that.
And you said that this book changed you quite a bit, or it was, you went through a lot to come to this.
Yeah, the poems helped me get better. There's my meds and everything else I'm on, but really I found my voice with the poems again when I didn't have one. So.
Yeah, I guess let's go back to that. So when you were bedridden for that 1 month, was it a connection with your brain that stopped you from being able to write in such, because you were writing quite prolifically.
Yes, but the MS, when it hit, it causes lesions in the brain, of course. And one of my lesions, when I finally viewed the MRI, was larger than a golf ball.
Wow.
It was pretty big. And so for a while, I could barely talk, I couldn't eat, couldn't walk, couldn't do anything. So I had to relearn all of that. And there are other symptoms too, like it caused, in the beginning, it caused vertigo, dizziness, a whole catch-22. But so I had to work my way up from that.
What were some of the signs?
Well, it was kind of masked with me because I was born with spastic cerebral palsy.
Okay.
So the symptoms I was having, like falls that would happen randomly, we all thought it was just cerebral palsy driven.
Right.
But then when I stopped being able to type and I wasn't able to speak, and I went partially blind for a little bit, those were the key factors in recognizing that I had multiple sclerosis.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I just want to congratulate Jamison because he did his first MS walk recently, right?
Yeah, walked the whole 3K.
Wow.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had the MS Society on the show many times in the past. Have you reached out to them, and have they been a support system for you?
They've been a fantastic support system. And, I have to say that the care I've received medically, has been fantastic. It's life-changing, but in a good way.
What's your prognosis moving forward? What have the doctors told you, Jamison?
Well, I just had my follow-up MRI, and there are new lesions, but then, my previous lesions are all shrinking, and they're grayed out. So it's healing.
Right.
And, I'm fairly lucky that I have relapse from remitting, but I have clinically isolated syndrome, which means that I've only had